Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. It's a very good afternoon to you, Mr. Ambassador.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir, and thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for your time this afternoon. Let me start by asking you about the importance of and the significance, really, of the French President's visit to Egypt, specifically at this critical time with all the developments being witnessed in the region.
Very important, and it sends many messages to many parties. First, to our support to the Palestinian people who are suffering really this sort of aggression. Another message is to the American presidency to take care that the Arabs, neither the European nor any wise country, shall support the idea of migration of the Palestinians from their own land to invite people who have no relation with this land to come and to occupy it. And
Indeed.
of course, on the bilateral level, there are many things to be followed. That really the relation between Egypt and France is becoming a good model of a very good relation between South Mediterranean and North Mediterranean within the Euro-Mediterranean process, which France is a leader country in this effort.
Absolutely.
And Egypt on its side, it is a leader country, of course, and many countries are asking us to give our experience in this domain.
Indeed, Mr. Ambassador. Now, this visit represents a high-level diplomatic initiative, as you said, in light of the tripartite summit as well that was held, bringing together the leaders of Egypt, Jordan, as well as France to discuss the dangers threatening the Palestinian cause. To what extent do you see this trilateral summit helping reactivating a possibility of a ceasefire and supporting the Egyptian Arab plan for the reconstruction of Gaza?
It's a very good step, of course, and France is a big country. It has its position in Europe, which is one of the largest countries in Europe.
Yes.
And really, France, England, Germany, and Italy, they explained their position, which is very positive towards the Palestinian question. So we need this support not only by political declaration, but also in the coming conference, in order to allocate enough budget and money in order to re-establish Gaza and the places which were totally destroyed. And this is a sort of priority to our plans. First priority, of course, is to stop the war. Second is to allow the assistance, whether it is water, it is medicine or fuel or whatever the Palestinians are in need of, to open the door to receive all this assistance body. And on the other dimension, of course, we shall start two things: to start real negotiations about the two-state solution, and also how the future relation between the Israelis and the Palestinians, how it could take place in the coming future. We have to help all the parties in order to come to reasonable solution, peaceful solution for all the parties.
Absolutely. Now, with regards to bilateral ties between Egypt and France, the two presidents have also witnessed the signing of several agreements and memoranda of understanding in various fields, particularly that of transportation and health, as well as another agreement aimed at assisting with the treatment of the Palestinians evacuated from Gaza since the outbreak of the war. Let's talk a bit about the significance for the strategic level of partnership that has been reached by Egypt and France.
Yes, let me explain my happiness and my satisfaction about the visit of our guest to the underground, because the underground is totally made by France.
Yes.
And really it is something both countries are proud of. And of course, it gave us a very big support to the transport in Cairo. 2 million inhabitants are using this daily.
Yes.
Another thing which I was happy about, that the two presidents went to Khan al-Khalili to have immediately a direct impression about how our people are looking very friendly and very positively to the French president. And really this would give a good sign to other countries.
A very cultural aspect, yes.
How Egypt is really appreciating those who are helping us.
Absolutely. And Mr. Ambassador, regarding military and security cooperation, we've seen military cooperation with France aligning with the Egyptian border security and counter-terrorism goals. How important do you see this aspect of the ties between the two countries?
We gave a good example about that Egypt, when Egypt takes the decision to buy some armaments from one country, then the whole Arab world would follow them. Took the Rafale purchase when Egypt bought 24 airplanes. The smallest Arab countries bought 30 airplanes. So, and this reminds us when Sadat asked Germany to supply Egypt with 5 big planes for passengers, and they were a little bit hesitant. Sadat told them, if I buy the 5 planes, see how many other crafts you are going to sell in the Arab world. And really, Egypt bought 5 airplanes. The Arab world bought 120 airplanes. So Egypt is a model for its area. Of course, many Arab countries are following the Egyptian way of armament for its army. So we are the model, and we are happy about that. We give this experience to all our brothers and friends.
Absolutely, Mr. Ambassador. Now, let's talk a bit about some of the mutual collaboration between France and Egypt in other situations which have served, for example, to solve other regional issues and crises, for example, the Libyan conflict, the Middle East peace process, and other African-related matters. How important are such diplomatic ties between Egypt and France regarding other regional issues?
Very important, and the cooperation not only in the regional level, but in the international one. We have a problem in the United Nations that we cannot take serious decision to stop the Syrian war because of the American veto. But we succeeded to allocate 154 votes in the General Assembly to stop the war and to ask to give the Palestinians their rights. So, also in our region, as you rightly said, we are not in good health. What is happening in Syria, in Lebanon, in Palestine, in Libya, Sudan is not in good health, Somalia is not in good health. Yemen became a sort of threat to the navigation in our area. So all these things need to sort of exchange views and exchange what we are going to do about it in our area in order to restore peace. And thank God that Egypt is one rare country which stands on very solid foots, that we have a sort of Egyptian unity within our country, and we do not suffer of all these things which which is surrounding us from all dimensions.
Indeed, Mr.
Let us hope that this will lead us to much better situation.
Indeed. And concerning economic and trade ties between Egypt and France, we've seen an increase with regards to exports to France as well. Could you tell us a bit about some of the main sectors of economic cooperation between Egypt and France and how they can become even more enhanced?
Yes, let me say at the beginning that since we signed the agreement, the association agreement with Europe, now we are exporting, exempting from any tax duties or any custom duties. That made our exports increase by 4 times. This is something we appreciate very much But we are greedy. We want more and more in order to export more, in order to produce more. That will attract more and more investment. This will mean to our young people that more and more jobs shall be created. And with France especially, we have a long history in the field of transport, in the field of energy and electricity, in the field of new sources of energy, such as gas or electric, and we are connecting Egypt with Europe now to produce and export our electricity and our gas to Europe in the coming future.
Absolutely. And finally, Mr. Ambassador, for our last question, we've seen lots of opportunities as well for different companies and investors to come and invest in Egypt. What sectors do you think French companies are focused on if they are operating and coming to operate in Egypt?
I was so happy seeing that there was a conference of the businessmen. And it's very good because they know what they need.
Yes.
They tell our presidents what they need. They give advices, and we have to be good listeners, and we shall follow whatever they need. But the sky is the limit there. I cannot name one sector which we need. We need everything. This is a country which is 100 million inhabitants, and we need food, we need to produce cars, of course, we need to have a good environment, and we have good reputation here. We need also the cooperation between Egypt and Europe to combat the organized crime, which is drug trafficking, which is terrorism, illegal migration, and drug trafficking also. So all of these are domains of cooperation between Egypt and France and Europe in general.
Right. On that note, Your Excellency, Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, the former assistant to the Foreign Minister, thank you very much, sir, for your time and your insight. Ladies and gentlemen, a short break, and we'll be back to continue our episode. Do stay tuned.